At 45, Destiny Payton has finally broken her silence, and what she just admitted has left people stunned. After years of holding her tongue, dodging questions, and pretending she saw nothing, she is now revealing the truth she witnessed with her own eyes. This wasn't a rumor she heard, or a story she repeated. It was something she saw and carried in silence like a loaded secret. For years, she chose loyalty over honesty and protection over exposure. But now, she has reached the point where she no longer wants to protect anyone, not even herself. Her admission doesn't just expose the past, it forces everyone to question what else has been hidden behind cameras, contracts, and carefully controlled narratives. And the way she says it, calm, steady, unregretful, makes it clear. This truth has been waiting to come out for a very long time. For years, Destiny Payton has been more than just another face on a reality show. She was close enough to the drama to hear what others didn't, to see what the cameras missed, and to know the truths that never made it to television. She wasn't an outsider watching from a distance, she was inside the circle. Trusted, included, and present when things were said and done. That is why her voice now carries weight, because she is not guessing. She is not repeating gossip. She is confessing from experience. Her silence all these years wasn't accidental. It was survival, protecting alliances, protecting reputations, protecting herself. But now, at 45, with the past behind her and the consequences no longer able to harm her in the same way, Destiny has nothing left to lose by telling the truth. And the truth she just released has shaken the foundation of the story everyone thought they understood. Admission is not just a revelation, it is a reset of everything people believed happened in that chapter of Huntsville history. To understand the weight of Destiny's confession, you have to go back to the chapter she has now reopened, a time when tempers were high, alliances were shifting, and everyone around her was fighting a battle behind closed doors while pretending to live in peace on camera. Destiny wasn't just present, she was in the rooms where voices were lowered, deals were made, and truths were buried. She saw things not as a viewer, but as someone who was trusted to keep the silence intact. The incident she is now speaking about didn't happen in a moment of chaos. It happened in a quiet, private moment when the mask slipped and the truth revealed itself without the shield of cameras or performance. She carried that moment for years, through filming seasons, through friendships, through betrayals, through public humiliation and private fallout, knowing that if she ever spoke, she could destroy more than reputations. It wasn't a harmless secret. It was the kind of truth that could have changed public perception overnight, the kind that could have ended relationships, rewritten narratives, and exposed the real motivations behind decisions people made on and off the show. And yet, Destiny chose silence, not because she didn't know the truth, but because she understood the power of revealing it too soon. But silence ages like a wound, and after years of carrying it, the truth has finally broken through her restraint. And what she admits now forces the question: if this is what she finally revealed, what else has been buried in the years she stayed quiet? Destiny didn't speak in guesses or half-truths. She described a scene she witnessed with her own eyes. It was not in front of cameras, not in a public argument, not during filming. It happened in a private space where people let their real selves show because they thought no one would ever repeat it. She walked in on a moment that was never meant to be seen, a moment that revealed the truth about loyalty, intentions, and what was really happening behind all the polished, scripted appearances. She saw a conversation, not accidental, not emotional, but calculated. Words were exchanged that exposed real motives: who was manipulating who was playing for cameras, who was hiding secrets while performing innocence in public. It wasn't noise or chaos, it was quiet, strategic, and undeniable. She saw enough in that single moment to understand that everything the world believed later was built on a lie. This was the truth she carried. The kind that could have changed the direction of reputations and alliances if she had spoken then. She didn't stumble into gossip, she stepped into reality. And now, by finally admitting what she saw, she has forced the world to go back and question every storyline that followed. This wasn't just something she heard, it was something she witnessed, silently, and remembered like a bruise that never healed. Destiny didn't keep quiet because she was weak. She kept quiet because she understood exactly how dangerous the truth was. Speaking then would have detonated more than one life at once. There were contracts in place, reputations at stake, friendships hanging by threads, and narratives being controlled by people with far more power than her. She knew that one sentence from her could collapse relationships, ruin alliances, and ignite a scandal that wouldn't end with just one person burned. There was also loyalty, not to the behavior she witnessed, but to the people she once loved and trusted. She protected them even when they no longer protected her. She carried the truth not because she agreed with it, but because she wasn't ready to become the villain for telling it. Silence was her armor, a way to survive inside a world where honesty is punished and secrets are currency. And then there was fear. Fear of retaliation, fear of being discredited, fear of being exiled from the very platform that was feeding her career. She knew that speaking too soon would not destroy the guilty, it would destroy her first. So she chose what most people in those circles choose. She swallowed the truth for the sake of stability and self-preservation. But silence doesn't erase what was seen, it only delays the explosion. And now, years later, with nothing left to lose and no one left to shield, she finally opened her mouth, not to hurt others, but to free herself from the weight of carrying a truth that was never hers to protect. People don't suddenly tell the truth after years of silence without a reason. Something inside Destiny shifted. At 45, she is no longer the woman who needed approval, protection, or a storyline to survive. Time aged her perspective, and distance removed her fear. The alliances she once guarded no longer define her. The people she once shielded are no longer in her circle. And the consequences she once feared have already happened in other forms. There comes a point in life, especially after 40, when carrying someone else's secret starts to feel heavier than releasing it. She reached that point. What she held back for years was no longer protecting anyone. It was poisoning her peace. And when you have lived long enough being blamed for things you didn't do, you eventually decide to speak about the things you did witness. She isn't speaking now for revenge, she is speaking for clarity, closure, and liberation. Her life is no longer attached to the people or the platform that made her silent. She can finally speak without losing anything, because everything that could be taken from her has already been taken. So she told the truth, not because she wanted to reopen the past, but because she wanted to stop carrying it into her future. Destiny's confession doesn't just rewrite her story, it rewrites everyone else's. By finally admitting what she saw, she forces people to go back and question every argument, every alliance, every tear, and every scene that came after that moment. Suddenly, people who looked innocent might not be. People who looked guilty might have been reacting to something no one knew. Entire narratives that were accepted as truth now look manipulated, strategic, and staged. This one admission has the power to shift blame, expose motives, and reveal that what viewers thought was reality was actually controlled storytelling. The people who built their reputations on silence and denial now face the shadow of exposure, because Destiny has proven she knows more than she ever said. And maybe the biggest shift is internal. For the first time, Destiny is not carrying the secret alone. Once a truth is spoken, it no longer belongs to one person. Now, the weight she held for years sits in the open, and the people who once benefited from her silence must face the echo of what she finally released. This revelation doesn't fix the past, it destabilizes the version of it people believed. Because when one person breaks the silence, the entire story has to be reconsidered from the beginning. Confession is never free, it always takes something with it. By speaking now, Destiny didn't just reveal what she saw, she reopened a wound that had been stitched shut for years. Truth liberates the one who tells it, but it exposes everyone who depended on that silence to protect their image. Destiny may feel lighter, but the people woven into that secret now carry the weight she released. Telling the truth at 45 is different than telling it at 25. She is not chasing sympathy or revenge, she is choosing peace over protection, clarity over confusion, and honesty over the burden of secrecy. But her honesty will cost someone else their comfort. That is the nature of truth, it doesn't land gently. In the end, Destiny didn't speak to destroy anyone, she spoke to stop destroying herself. And that is the quiet tragedy of most buried truths. They don't explode when you hide them. They rot you from the inside until you finally drag them into the light. Do you believe? Destiny finally told the truth, out of courage, out of guilt, or because she has nothing left to protect anymore. Comment your thoughts below. Is this justice, timing, or self-preservation wearing the mask of honesty?